What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Crush City Territory. I'm Chandler Rome, joined by Tyler Stafford and Josh Reddick, decked out in his Superman, of course. Josh, I saw the Lambo was getting
Come on.
Time out. Back it up. Spider-Man, not Superman.
Did I say
Come on now.
Superman?
You said
That's
Superman.
embarrassing.
We should probably
Wow.
restart. We should probably restart. But let's just.
Guy's been covering me for the last 8 years, and here we are.
Well, I was about to go into the Lambo getting all the attention at the car show with all the Spider-Man decals and things of that nature. How did the Lambo go over at the car show at Daikin?
I heard and got a lot of great responses from it. We didn't get there till after lunch, but it was great. It was a great turnout. A lot of people showed up. I kind of blended in well, which was nice. So I kind of walked by it a couple times just to kind of like hear what was being said about it. But yeah, I mean, you walk by it, everybody's taking pictures with it. I took pictures with plenty of fans and got to talk to a lot of people. But I think my kids had a blast. My racer saw the F1 Red Bull car, so he was ecstatic because that's Max Verstappen. That's his favorite. But they had all kinds of crazy cool cars, man. Cars that you never even think were real on the field. If you haven't seen pictures, I mean, these look like they belong on planet Jupiter. But just some BA cars, and if you can't translate BA, then move on.
Bachelor of Arts.
Baseball America. That's what we all.
My local car show just takes place in a Target parking lot about every day, as far as I'm concerned. Every time I get
Friday night around 8:00.
Yeah, there's just like 30 dudes with cars in the back of the Target parking lot.
I remember those days.
That's I'd pay to go to that too.
You don't have to. Just show up.
Show up. There. Go inside, get you a couple things, and come on out.
Hell yeah. That should be our next. That should be our first remote. If we ever do a remote on these things, that should be our next thing. First of all, before we get into this, shout out to listener Jorge Garcia in Miami. Brought a printed out copy.
Yeah.
Rush City Territory logo. Asked me to sign it. That's the first autograph I think I've ever signed on the field in 8 years of doing this. He wants both Josh and Tyler to sign it, and I hope he gets his wish. I hope both of you can get that signed. We're making it the big time when people are printing out our logo and wanting us to sign it. I know that's old hat for you, Josh, but for me, that was pretty cool.
Hey, that's awesome, man. Well, anytime you have fans of any sort, man, you're doing something right. So congrats to you. Congrats to him. So yeah, hopefully we can get to the ballpark and get Tyler's John Hancock on it and then finish it off.
I hope that this is how Chandler gets served in the future. Somebody comes up with a folder with the Crush City logo on it, and then you just get served papers. That's what I'm hoping for now.
I have a lot of different things I could get served for. But that's neither here nor there. The Astros are currently in New York. They will open a 3-game series tonight in the Bronx. And in commemoration of that, we wanted to show what I believe is the best picture ever taken of the Astros golden era. If you can't see it if you're not watching on YouTube with us and you're just listening on audio, this is from Game 3 of the 2019 American League Championship Series. Didi Gregorius hit a very deep fly ball to right field where Josh Reddick was standing and waiting. And it looks, Josh, you should get this commissioned as an oil painting.
It gets better the more you look at this picture, because if you can zoom in on all the faces of fans' reactions, especially the guy that's right over the S and WB Mason, he's just literally screaming at me to drop it. I can remember that man exactly screaming, miss it, Reddick, you stuck, and probably some other stuff. But anytime you can look at, the whole pan of everything is just great reactions all around. And what a great moment, because everybody.
I like the guy hand on the chin, just like, oh man,
it's over.
Disappointed.
It's over.
Well, if you watch the video, Garrett thought he gave it up.
We all did.
Off the bat, I think Garrett does the whole sink in the knees sort of thing when a pitcher thinks he gave it up. Off the bat, I think Didi thought he got it, and I guess it just died at the wall at Yankee Stadium, which is not usually a thing that happens in that short porch.
It's too high.
It does not. Those things do not usually die at either short porch. So I guess that's the avenue to talk about. Josh, you're the expert here. What's it like playing in the Bronx, playing in right field, playing in that environment that the Astros are going to go to for 3 games this weekend?
Hostile. It's a hostile environment, but it is electric to play there. Personally, I never really did all that well there, but I love going in there because I kind of feed off that, and it was so much fun to just be there and listen to everybody just hate on all of us, and especially when I think we've won probably like 80% of our games there in the last 10 years, so that definitely helped, including playoffs. But electric. I mean, as soon as you walk into that stadium, you feel how historic it can be, and the amenities, as you've seen, Chandler, are 5-star, and you've just seen the clubhouse and the walk to the dugout. Like, the food room, oh my gosh, the best in the big leagues, the weight room, the training room, like everything. It has a great lounge, which you don't get in the visiting side a whole lot, but it has like the most comfortable chairs all around. You got, massage chairs hanging out in the lounge. You've got anything you want, the chef can find. I know you hear that a lot, but I mean, I'm talking anything. This is probably one of the only stadiums where you can get anything you want to have to eat. But I mean, when you walk out there, first of all, you got air conditioning and heated dugouts built in. So that's obviously great. But then you walk out on the field, and as soon as you get out there, you're getting booed and all kinds of crazy things yelled at you that can't bear repeating, from age to like 7 to about 87. I've been called some things by a 7-year-old that I didn't even know 7-year-olds knew in that ballpark. And the funny part is everybody laughs. Like, as soon as the 7-year-old said it, the whole bleachers laugh, the security laugh, the dad's laughing. So it's great. It's some great parenting. But I mean, the one thing I can't say positive about them, they're a fantastic and a loyal fan base when it comes to watching their Yankees. So it's always fun to go in there because it's loud. It's usually sold out, and you just feed off of that. It gives you more adrenaline and more reason to kind of stay locked in and focused.
Do you think they'll remember Altuve and Correa? You think they'll have anything for them?
Oh my goodness. Especially if they're hitting like 3-4, it's going to be a very loud, probably 5 minutes. I mean, you hear it all the time with Altuve. Every time you're watching on TV, you hear it pretty loud. So, I mean, they're never ones to shy away from booing and all that kind of mess. So I'm sure it'll be a little bit more incentive to probably boo Correa now that he is back in the Astros uniform. I'm sure he got booed as a twin plenty, but now that he's back with this team, I think it gives them more of an incentive to go out there. But you know what? Altuve thrives off that. The more you boo him, the more he drives in homers, and Correa is built for that as well. And he's always performed very well there. So it's going to be fun. And they're not playing so hot. So hopefully they can go out there and shut every one of their mouths up pretty quick.
Yeah, you talk about it's going to be a hostile environment. It may be a more hostile environment toward the Yankees and toward, the way they have played. They've been a fundamental mess the last, month and a half. They rebuilt their bullpen. They have like 4 closers in their bullpen, and the 3 that they brought in at the deadline have all faltered in their first couple of appearances. One of them got optioned to AAA. It's just not a good time going on for the Yankees right now. But I mean, you look at the names. Obviously, Aaron Judge is back. He's going to be, I presume, DHing. They've got Stanton, who I don't know where he's going to play, because if Judge is DHing, they can't place Stanton anywhere in the outfield. So Stanton may be off the bench, but Stanton has had a propensity to really kill the Astros in the last few years. He probably has come up more clutch against the Astros than Judge has. The Astros have done a very good job against Aaron Judge the last 3 or 4 years. Of course, I say that, and he'll hit 4 homers this weekend.
I got you.
And Josh, the weird thing is, like, you're talking about how hostile and what an electric atmosphere it is. Like, you never played there post everything being revealed, post the sign stealing scandal, and since it has gotten a lot more hostile toward the Astros and everybody that walks in there. So it's always going to be one of those situations where they walk in there and they're public enemy number one. But they did that at Dodger Stadium earlier this year, and they went in there and swept them. But since
that's where it's a fair trade-off for me, though, because I never went to the Yankee Stadium, but guess who was the first Astro to return to Dodger Stadium with fans?
That's tough. That's a tough trade.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was set up by MLB, but
that's tough.
The Dodgers fans loved you already.
Well, look at that. I mean, look at it this way. Like, look here, so you be the judge here, right? So I'm in AAA with the Diamondbacks. I'm in getting ready to whatever, and they're playing one more game at Dodger Stadium, night game. I get called up for a night game at Dodger Stadium on a getaway day against David Price. I haven't started against David Price since like 2013. Tell me I wasn't set up.
And did you pitch in that game or no?
No, that was later on. That was at the All-Star break. That one was just a one game, and I think we lost like 4-0, 4-1 or something. But no, that was later on in the year.
You pitched in a game that was only 4-run deficit?
No. I'm saying the first time I went back, we lost 4-1.
Okay.
The next time we went back was right before the All-Star break. And then we were down, I think, 20-1.
Ah.
Oh, it was great. I came out of the bullpen. I went and warmed up to the bullpen, got the jog in from the bullpen. And that, you want to talk about some great booze. That was awesome.
I'm sure you hammed it up. You savored it.
I did. And then Pujols took me about 4:30. It was beautiful.
Well, that's something that can go on your resume, that you gave up one of Albert Pujols' 700 home runs.
Well, that's the great thing. Like I think I gave up 695. So like it would have been cool if like he had gotten 700 or 701, like right on the dot.
Yeah. If
I was the first position player he had taken deep in his whole career.
That's incredible,
isn't it?
I guess position player pitching didn't become like a real in vogue thing until like really around now, like the last 5 or so years. So, but that is still kind of hard to believe that you're the only position player he ever took deep out of 700 and something homers. That's something. Let's talk about, when we get back from the break, we've talked so much about Carlos Correa and his return and kind of how he fit in. We finally have sample size of games to watch him play in. Josh, last time you were on, it was all hypothetical. It was all like, we're talking about his Twins tenure. We have seen 6 games from Carlos in an Astros uniform. We'll talk about how he has fit into this lineup and how he's transitioned to third base right after this message from our friends at Foul Territory.
AJ, I'm on my phone right now in Arena Club, and I'm looking at the Emerald slab packs, and I see in the Grail a Bobby Witt Jr. 2020 Bowman Chrome Prospect Auto Gold Refractor card.
Give me that. Give me your phone. I'm gonna get you to
you gotta buy
that to me.
I don't have it.
I thought you had it.
Get a slab pack. No, I don't have that.
Then give me your slab pack.
That card's worth.
You buy
a lot.
me slab pack, Scott, so I can get the Bobby Witt Jr. Gold Refractor 2020 Bowman Chrome Auto, because that sounds awesome.
And it's worth a lot.
It's worth a lot. He's a stud. He's not going down. Get a Grail. Get a Grail. I want a Grail, Scott. Give me the Holy Grail. You do it.
To do that, you must get yourself a slab pack in Arena Club. Or if you want to get it for a friend, you can do that too. And right now, you can get 20% off your first slab pack or your first card purchase. If you're going on there and you're just like, hey, I want a specific card. I find it there. I want to grab it for my showroom. arenaclub.com/foul and use the code FOUL.
So we have seen the second first impressions of Carlos Correa at third base, as Tyler has so aptly pointed out. Josh, what have you thought of the 6 games that you've seen from Carlos? Does it look like the vintage Carlos that you played with? And I guess more specifically, what have you thought of him at third base at a new position that I don't think any of us thought he'd struggle transitioning to, but still there are some big differences, even though he's only sliding over a few feet to third base.
I mean, first of all, he's looked great at third. Has he really been tested a whole lot? No. I mean, but he's making the routine plays look great. And somehow it makes his arm look stronger because he's at a shorter distance. I mean, you watch the camera, it's just, so, I mean, I think we all knew that, but he's looking great there. I think the Marlins series really kind of stood out more to me than the Fenway series, the Red Sox series. Obviously, the home run that he hit was great to see, but I mean, he's shooting the ball all over the place. He's doing great at, he looks just like the same hitter, just a little bit older. So I mean, he's coming around, but I knew that he was going to come in here and be a whole lot happier than he was in Minnesota, just to be back in a winning ball club who was ready to win and still winning at this point. So I think everybody had that feeling when Carlos came over that he was already going to be so much better than he was the last 3 years in Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, and you can't really quantify like happiness and comfort. And Carlos is a happy dude just in general, but it really does seem like, coming back around Altuve, coming back around a lot of people he's very familiar with in a franchise that has standards and expectations that only a few others in baseball do. Like the Astros have put themselves, maybe not from a payroll standpoint, maybe not from a market size standpoint, but they have put themselves from an on-field expectation standpoint. They are up there with the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Red Sox. Like if they don't go to the ALCS or go to the World Series, like this season is a failure. And that is the kind of the burden of playing for this team is you can have a nice season. You can exceed expectations. This team at one point had 18 guys on the IL and still no one's going to care if they go to the wild card series and lose 2 out of 3 like they did last year to the Tigers, or if they, run up against a hot team in the ALDS and lose, like no one's going to give them the benefit of the doubt of, they had so many injuries. They let Alex Bregman walk this offseason. Like, no, they traded Kyle Tucker. Like, no one's going to care. Like, the expectations here are you go to the ALCS of the World Series if the season's a failure. And that's not the case in Minnesota. And I think Carlos thrives in those high pressure, high intensity environments, and he's back in one now. Like, it's
he likes the big lights. He plays under the big lights, and he likes to be in the spotlight, and that's when he performs. So,
I mean, you say you can't quantify happiness, but we've said all year this is the power of friendship team. I mean, this is just all vibes. That's how they've gotten here. So I don't know. Maybe that is what it is.
Like we talk about, the vibes have been high, but I do wonder though, like the production on the field is different than the vibes in the clubhouse. Cause like, that's the thing. If you walk, I was just with them for 6 games after the deadline. Like the clubhouse is hopping, man. Like they're happy. The energy's high. Like they're bouncing around. Like you really can't go in that clubhouse and discern whether they've won or lost a game just because everyone's on cloud 9. I think Carlos's presence does that. I think we have seen Jesús Sánchez is certainly a guy that brings a lot of energy. He just is smiling a lot. He's happy to be here. It's been, those additions have been great and all, but this team got swept by the Red Sox. They took 2 or 3 from the Marlins. They've only won 2 games since the deadline. They're 9-16 since the Dodgers series where they swept. The Mariners have now crept into a game and a half of the American League West lead. So vibes are great, but they got to start winning because the Mariners are creeping up, Josh. And I know you have dogged their lineup. We haven't. You have said that, they don't scare you much, but you look and I mean, you cannot dispute that their starting pitching depth really, really, really dwarfs the Astros. You can even say their bullpen depth because the Astros right now are running with basically a 2-man bullpen of guys that they really, really, really trust. There are guys that are pitching okay. There are guys that they give leverage innings to, but obviously this is Brian Abreu and Josh Hader's bullpen. And they've got Hunter Brown. They've got Framber Valdez. Don't know a ton behind them. Spencer Arrighetti, Tyler and I talked. And Josh, you watched the start. Spencer Arrighetti coming back. What did you make of that? It was a very odd outing because he got many whiffs as he did. The velo was there. He was missing bats when he had to, but 11 hits and 5 runs in 3 2/3 innings kind of speaks for itself.
It does. When you go back to that first inning, I mean, you can say it was almost an unlucky first inning because you talk about what was it, 5 hits under like 90-mile-per-hour exit velos. Like I think he gave up like 3 infield hits too. Like it was wild to watch, and that stat line that he put out was just crazy because that's what happens if you don't swing and miss and strike out. Those things can happen. So ran into a bit of bad luck, but you could tell that there was a little bit of rust coming off of everything being back on a big league mound for him. But credit him. It could have gotten worse, but these are the concerns that I think everybody's kind of worried about. Like, are these guys going to be able to come back and get it done? Where like you look at guys like Garcia last night, who had a great outing on probably his last rehab appearance, we hope, if not one more. But that's always a concern. Like, are these guys going to be able to come back and step in and be okay? Hope is yes, but it may take 1 or 2 starts to figure that out. But they're going to show faith in these guys, and guys like Arrighetti and Garcia have been there before. They know what it takes to pitch to success. And when you look back at like what the Astros have done since the Dodgers series, like this is the first time we've seen them really struggle in this capacity of a stretch. Like they've done a really good job of not faltering and really being down on themselves with all their injuries. So, and every team goes through it. And then you fast forward to the Marlins series, like, yeah, on paper, they're only right around 500, excuse me, around 500. But before that series, they were 35-10 in their last 45 games. They're quite possibly the best team in baseball at the time. So they put a stop to that. They went and got, put runs up against Sandy Alcantara. They also got Cal Quantrill, who had like 6 starts of 1 earned run combined. So there's hope that they're back on the rise when you look at it that way. So, I mean, it's behind
offense
them.
Looks good. I mean, it's a good looking lineup now. I mean, I don't think that's the concern going forward. It's definitely pitching. I mean, you mentioned starting pitching depth, and you didn't even mention Steven Okert, Astros legend starting pitcher. So, we'll see. But I mean, yeah, they're going to have to figure out the rest of the rotation. Somebody's going to have to step up here, and you're going to have to go back into the mode that we talked about earlier that you don't want to get into, which is you got to win, 3/4 of your Fromber and Hunter Brown starts from here on out. Like you can't lose those starts going forward. And I don't know what their record is recently, but they've got to be close to like 500 in Fromber and Hunter Brown starts over the last month and a half. So you're going to have to win close to 80% of those to have a real chance going forward.
Since we're talking about pitching depth, Tyler, we didn't hit on this in our last show, and Josh, you watched it from the studio. How about AJ Bluball?
Oh, man.
That was I mean, I'm
Did
not
you know
saying
he had
he's
98 in him, because I did not.
I didn't know he had 97 in him, much less 98.
More than once at that.
Yeah, and that was the thing that was told to me by a couple of people, that the 98 was great, but that he held 96 toward the end of his outing. Like it wasn't just he came in a short burst and was 98 in the first inning he threw and then was 93 in the second. Like he was pretty steady, 95, 96, and maintaining. And Joe Espada said something pretty interesting on Wednesday that I think is going to dovetail into this depth discussion. He said they did send him to AAA after his bulk outing behind Steven Okert. That was always going to be the plan because they needed a roster spot for Arrighetti. But he said they're going to send him to AAA and they're going to work him out of the bullpen. He may make some starts, but like they are tailoring him for the Ryan Gusto role, the swing man that obviously Gusto's with the Marlins now. They traded him in the Sanchez deal, but would not be surprised if AJ Bluball is back up here and playing the sort of role you saw him play on Tuesday, where if they can put an opener in front of him, or to be honest with you, if some of these injured guys come back and they're only built up to go, 3 or 4 innings, like Arrighetti or like Javier or Garcia, if they only go 3 or 4 innings to open the game, then you put AJ Bluball in and say, young fella, go for the next 4 innings and let it eat. It was interesting because his debut against the Tigers in April feels like forever ago, but you could tell, as you would expect. I mean, he's a little nervous, little tentative, didn't want to, was nibbling a little bit, didn't want to really come in the zone a lot, because I think he said this after the game, like that game showed him like I can pitch at the big league level. And he was unsure of that going into the game. You saw a completely different kid on Tuesday in Miami. Like this was confident. This was, here's 98, try to hit it. And it wasn't against like the bottom of their lineup either. Like he blew 98 past Kyle Stowers, who was the NL Player of the Month in July. That was really eye-opening to see AJ Bluball, a guy that could really, really help this staff that needs any sort of stability and needs any sort of arm to step up.
Yeah, he looked really, really good. I mean, I think he'll obviously be good in the bullpen, but shoot, that's a starter right there from that outing alone. But I mean, yeah, keep that up, because that is something the Astros could definitely need right now.
And when you look at it, like if you look at his AAA numbers, he had been doing the opener piggyback thing for like the last 5 or 6, after like not being very good for the first 3 months. So he seems to thrive in this piggyback role, because I think he had like a 2.5 in those piggyback starts, whatever you want to call them. So he seems to thrive out of this bullpen role, so to speak. So maybe they found something yet again in another pitcher that clicked, and now they're just going to continue to run with it, because like you said, this is a guy that, you get 2 or 3 out of an opener and, if all hell breaks loose, you give him 5 or 6 innings to run it out there and you save everybody else, or vice versa. You get somebody who can give you 5 and dive, and you got a comfortable lead, and you throw him in there for 4 as well to save those days. So he's perfect for that Ryan Gusto role right now.
Yeah, and the piggyback tandem system, for those that don't kind of know what it is, it's basically what you saw on Tuesday in Miami, where sometimes it would be a reliever that opens the game. Sometimes it would be, like we talked about, maybe a traditional starter that's not built up, that's only can go 3 or 4 innings. And then AJ Bluball or whoever is the back half of the piggyback tandem system knows, hey, I'm coming in the 4th inning no matter what. Like they've got the 4th inning for me, and he tailors his pregame routine to the point where he can still do his pregame as a starter, but just understand that, hey, I'm coming in the 4th inning, so I'm going to start my, whether it's weighted balls or whatever it is in the bullpen, I can start this in the 1st inning. I'll be ready to go by the 4th inning, put him in the 4th inning, say, give us all you got, try to get us to the end of the game. And AJ Bluball did an exceptional job of that, really opened some eyes, and his secondary stuff is still a work in progress. His changeup, they were interested to see how he's going to command his changeup, how he's going to command his slider. Those are still things he has to get better at. But I think the other thing you saw, he only threw 3 pitches on Tuesday. It looked like a guy that they are molding to put him in the bullpen at some point, because in his first outing, I think he threw 5 or 6 different pitches. He was mixing a lot more, setting up batters a lot differently. On Tuesday, it was just, look, you got slider, changeup, 4-seam, just go. And he did that. That's usually what you see from a reliever. So would not be surprised to see AJ Bluball back in a couple of weeks, maybe in September, as a September call-up, put him in the bullpen, try him as a gusto Brad Peacock swing roll kind of thing, see if that works. But really eye-opening from him in Miami. We'll talk about more additions that could be coming to this pitching staff right after another message from our friends at Foul Territory.
It's summertime, it's bathing suit time, and it's time to get a better bathing suit liner. It's 2025, Kratz. I would like to feel more comfortable, and I would like to thank Fair Harbor for doing that.
It's super easy. Get the Fair Harbor Breeze Knit liner in your shorts. You can go play football on the beach. You can play paddle ball, and you don't got to worry about that crappy liner that other bathing suits have.
It is so comfortable. You got to check it out. I'm telling you, it's like butter, baby. You got to check out the Fair Harbor, not only bathing suits, but they carry a full line of casual clothing, shorts, shirts, hoodies. Go to the website, fairharborclothing.com/foul, and use code FOUL for 20% off your first purchase. That's fair, HARBOR clothing.com/foul for 20% off your first purchase. And make sure that you use the FT promo code so that they know we sent you and you get the discount, FOUL.
Josh, you mentioned Luis Garcia last night. We're recording this on Friday, so Luis Garcia pitched on Thursday for AAA Sugarland. Far and away, the best rehab start any of these injured guys have made results-wise. But again, you kind of get into how much do you put stock in the rehab start results. The Astros, quite frankly, don't care about results when they go to rehab starts. Obviously, if these guys go out there and don't get an out, there's some eyebrow raising, but by and large, it's more about pitch shape. It's more about velo. It's more about how these guys feel. But to see Luis Garcia punch out 7 dudes in 4 innings, this was a guy that after his last rehab start told MLB.com that, he didn't feel great, that he didn't feel as explosive coming down the mound. And I think his exact quote was, "I feel pretty weird." It's pretty obvious if you look at him pitch, they've done a lot to adjust his delivery. They've adjusted his arm slot. He's basically kind of throwing from the side now.
He's kind of got like a Fromber arm slot, like almost short arming it to get there. We'll see how it looks, but it's looked really interesting on the videos so far.
Yeah, I don't know how much that is. He's had so many setbacks, and he's going on 27 months since he's pitching in a big league game. Like, I don't know how much of that was just like, look, we got to change something to get this rehab accelerated. But that was encouraging to see. I think he'll get one more, because pretty consistently they've said that Garcia is behind Javier, and Joe Espada seemed to indicate that Christian Javier's next start will be at the big league level. So I think Luis Garcia gets one more start, but they get that version of him coming up here. That could be a godsend for a team that doesn't really know what it's getting behind Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez.
And when you talk about his arm slot, that's probably why he's had so many setbacks, because you change an arm slot, you're not just affecting your arm, you're affecting everything else in your body that you used to pitch. So we could be looking at that's why. So maybe he's now finding a comfortable level to pitch at, where his body's finally grown into that. When you've gone for so long in one motion, it kind of tends to take time to relearn, or Jesus Christ, spit it out, to learn something else. and adjust to that. So yeah, but they definitely get that guy back and get the Christian Javier of old back. Then I think all the concerns with pitching fall right out the window.
Boy, you look up all of a sudden and Jeremy Pena's back. Some guy named Carlos Correa is back on your team. You got Javier coming back. You got Luis Garcia coming back. At some point, they may allow Yordan to step on a baseball field. We'll see. But I mean, shoot, it's coming. It's coming together here in the nick of time. It's August 8th, so hurry up. But
they're only up a game and a half.
But also, they're up a game and a half without having any of those guys. So you can look at it that way of like, season starts right now. Who are you going to take over 30 games? You got to feel pretty good about all these guys coming back for the Astros.
Josh, I'm curious, like we're talking about it pretty openly, like, hey, 1.5, they're 1.5 up. How much do players pay attention to standings, especially in season? How much do you guys look at where other teams are, how big your lead is, anything like that?
I don't think we've never looked at it. I mean, you see it because there's 900 TVs everywhere in a big clubhouse. But I mean, it's obviously talked about on TV, but I don't recall anybody ever really talking about it or going, man, hey guys, we're only up a game. We got to step it up. I think that's just outside noise that everybody blocks out. And, excuse me, when you get to September, like mid-September, I think that's when you more or less kind of pay attention to it, but it still isn't really openly talked about. I don't know how it's been for the last 4 years when things like that break down. But
well, I mean, outside of a couple of Guardians pitchers, I think everybody's trying to win every game. So it's not like it changes your strategy too much.
You kind of look back at that 3-game sweep by the Guardians a couple of weeks ago, and you wonder, like, did the Astros break the Guardians?
That's what it was.
Gambling system. I'm like,
right.
Maybe because Clase pitched in, I think, 2 of those 3 games.
Spiked one about 8 feet in front of the plate. First pitch. Who knew that you could bet on first pitch, strike, or ball?
That is, I have had this conversation with players in the Astros clubhouse about this since all this has come out. Like, can you imagine being that? I say this as DraftKings is a huge sponsor of us, and we highly recommend you do everything. Go to DraftKings, do everything you can on DraftKings.
Code foul
to satisfy all of your wagering needs. But can you imagine how, I don't know if depraved's the right word, but like, imagine betting on like, is this pitch going to be a ball or a strike?
I mean, if you would let me bet on will Jose Altuve swing at the first pitch in every at bat, I would do it. So I get it.
Don't they have bets on like the Super Bowl coin toss too? So
they got the color of the Gatorade. Yeah.
Well, that's okay.
Addicts will find a way, no matter what you're talking about.
I get that. Like, it's the Super Bowl. Like, 1 billion people are watching it. Like,
Tuesday night Guardians game. I'm not sure if I'm betting on one pitch.
Right. Are you betting on Luis Ortiz's first pitch of Guardians Royals on June 8th? Like,
well, I think that's what happened is someone put
the odds got to be really high, so maybe you're going to take a blind bet and go, hey, I need 4,000 to 1 odds here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's also just like you guys remember when the Alabama baseball coach, the former Alabama baseball coach, got fired for giving insider information that he was scratching his starter against LSU. Like, some guy went to the sports book and bet like 5 figures on a Friday night Alabama LSU college baseball game. Like have some common sense here. Like, if you're getting insider info, maybe don't put 6 figures on a college baseball game.
Just 100. That's all you got to do. Yeah, don't be raising red flags. And just if we're doing this, get a translator.
So the headline's going to be the headline's going to be former MLB player Josh Reddick gives gambling advice on how to get away with inside information.
Correct. So in the easiest transition in the history of the world, if you were betting on this Yankees Astros series, Josh, what would you how do you think this one's going to go? Well, if you had to wager a guess, how do you think the Astros fare this weekend in the Bronx? First
of all, I have never and will never bet on baseball in my life.
There you go.
Just so we're throwing that out there, never, not even in retirement. Team's hot, Yankees are not. So you look to go take 2 out of 3. Obviously, the goal is to win a series. So get the first one, get it out of the way. Take down a struggling team. Don't let them get hot, and use that past success to keep them going. So I'm looking at 2 of 3. It's going to be really hard to go in there to get a sweep in Yankee Stadium. But I'm saying 2 out of 3 because you got your boys going 1-2. You got the horses going, and like we just talked about, this lineup's getting good now. I'll say it. We're a good lineup now. So, and they're swinging the bat. They're getting hits. They did really well with runners in scoring position outside of the last game of the series in Miami. So, go in there. They're going to take 2 out of 3 and come home and give Correa that nice welcome back that we all want.
I would imagine too that for professional athletes, like if I were going out there and someone were booing me, that would affect me negatively. That I would not be able to handle it. But I would imagine athletes can just kind of channel energy, whether it's positive or negative, and just it's going to feel like a playoff series. Like this weekend, it's a weekend series in the Bronx. Correa's back. You got Altuve. Like it's going to feel like a playoff series. And I can certainly see that amping up, a lot of these guys who are just tired and it's been a slog for the last month. I could see this really snapping them out of that. And you could really see because again, the offense has looked good over the last 6 games, even though in the Red Sox series, they didn't score a ton. They had a ton of guys on base in scoring position, carried that over in Miami. And I see no reason why they wouldn't be able to do that in New York.
One thing I'm pretty big on is if we're going to criticize people, then we have to also give them, flowers and praise when they've turned it around. This place has been pretty hard on Christian Walker. Christian Walker has a 771 OPS since June 1st.
Watch out.
He's slugging 442. His season OPS is now at 700, which again, his start was so poor that it's going to take a while for the counting stats to honestly they probably will not recover this season.
He also leads the team in RBIs.
Sure, yes. His counting stats will not recover this season. He will not end the season with an OPS or the sort of thing that is commensurate to the contract he signed, because the first 3 months of his season were so awful. But he and Yainer Diaz both. Yainer Diaz is slugging 519 since July 1st. Their renaissance the last month and a half. Some of it's been not talked about enough because Isaac Paredes got hurt again, because Carlos Correa came. If those two continue this run, if they continue to do this, and you got to remember, they're hitting like in a full strength lineup now, they're going to be hitting like 5th and 6th or 6th and 7th some points. Like if they continue that they are the keys to making this lineup scary. Like, because as it is right now, I think you say this is a good lineup right now, but you're not totally convinced that this is a 1-9 scare. Those two guys keep going the way they're going, then this lineup suddenly gets a lot longer, and it is a legitimate, World Series contending lineup. It's been those two guys, Josh. Those two guys have been really the keys for me the last month or so. Absolutely.
It gives you that extension of a lineup when you get to guys like Altuve, Correa, and if we see Jordan back, like it helps, a 3-player stretch turn into a 5-player tough stretch of batting in the lineup. So these guys stay hot, and especially when you magnify standings at this point of the season, we're 1.5 games back. Like these guys get hot, they're going to get talked about a lot more by helping them, solidify this division. And I think we're forgetting also Jake Myers. Like Jake Myers was having a fantastic year as well, and you put him in your 9 hole. And you're looking at filling in the gap in just the 7-8 hole. So I mean, it just becomes a whole lot better lineup. But it's great to see Christian Walker come back, because we, at least I won't say we. I've known it's always in there. I'll say it. I've known. I've seen it. Now we haven't even seen the fullest extent of Christian Walker. I've always said when he hits home runs, they usually do come in a good stretch. So he's had 3 on this road trip already. With potential to do more damage at Yankee Stadium. He's got the power to go left to right, and he could go up there and spray it all over the place. So for him to come down and finish and help this team finish strong, I think will help everybody else forget about those first 2 to 3 months, and you take that into the playoffs as well. Like he continues that in the playoffs, then that's when regular season numbers become irrelevant anyway, because everybody goes back to 0. So he continues on and moves on, then nobody will be saying anything bad about him.
Yep.
Josh, before we get out of here, because we haven't hardly mentioned him, and I feel bad because he's gotten diminished by the Correa edition. What have you thought of Jesús Sánchez? First 6
Love
games seeing him.
I love it. I was talking to, I think it was Escher, Shelby Coppage on the network about how this guy is never mad. He seems to always be smiling.
Yeah.
Every interview this guy does, it's not even really about baseball. I think his first post-game interview in Miami was about how happy he was to be there, who he hung out with, and what it took to be like in that clubhouse. So it was like crazy. Like he rarely talked about baseball, just talked about how happy he is to be here. I mean, imagine going from a Marlins team that, you know, had 0 winning probability in the last 12 years. And then going to this elite dynasty of a ball club, and you go in there and, you know, we heard him talk about being around guys like Correa, Altuve, like not Isak, but like all the Latin guys. Like he's really fell into that group really well. But you look at everything he does, man. Every time the camera's on him, all you see is pearly whites, and he's always having a great time. So from the addition of Correa being the, you know, that vocal leader that this team needed in the clubhouse to help keep them upbeat, this is a perfect guy who comes in, and, you know, when he walks in the room, it's like he has this aura of sunshine around him that makes everybody instantly in a good mood if you're not.
Yeah, respectfully, he's a big old goober.
And he's
And
raking.
yeah, and I love his swing. He looks like he's having fun. And again, he doesn't have to be a superstar. You know, he just has to be a guy that can make contact and, you know, extend that lineup. You know, preferably make some plays in the outfield at some point. We'll work on that. But I mean, he fits in the power of friendship vibes for sure.
Well, left field's the hardest outfield position to play anyway.
Everyone says
and
that.
If you've never played it, I mean, it's hard. I saw him struggle a bit on some balls that were hit right at him, but, you know, those are the hardest ones. You don't know if they're going to top spin or not, and he's done a pretty good job. So I mean, he'll get there. It's just a work in progress.
Yeah, and remember, he didn't play a ton of left. He hasn't played a ton of left field in his career because he was mainly the Marlins right fielder, and Tyler, you know that right field in Houston is occupied for the time being. So he's going to be playing a lot of left field, and it'll be interesting to see when he gets back to Dyken Park playing. You know,
you think he's asked advice from Altuve on how to play left field?
I'm sure he has. But I'd love to hear that advice, actually. It'd be fun to see him at Dyken Park.
That'd be a good conversation to hear.
2 guys that are just learning as they go.
There's about a foot difference, too. I want to see them, like, put some sticky notes on the Crawford boxes of where they can jump up and hit up there. I think Jesús Sánchez might be able to rob some more along the Crawford boxes than Altuve.
Well, he'll probably get a lot closer to that wall than Altuve. So
yeah. I'd be scared of that thing too. I'm not going anywhere near that.
I'm not running into that thing or the monster. Absolutely not.
No. And I mean, it didn't help him that the first left field he played was at Fenway, which, as you know, Josh, has hardly any foul ground. That is a hard place to play left field.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
It's easy.
Really?
Yeah, everything over your head, you just turn around and
I had more time there when I played with Boston. I mean, it was literally, you know, when I got up, I think it was, I can't remember who our outfield coach was at that time. DeMarlo Hale comes up, he goes, if it's over your head, turn around. If it goes out, so what? If it's hit at you, just come in and get it. Everything else is not your fault.
I guess
and the ball does come back. Like if it's down the line, it tends to come back into fair. But like for me, it was always easier. You just had to play the ricochet off.
Well, I'm thinking about that. I think it was in the first game, that sacrifice fly that got hit down the line.
That though.
You do have that. Yeah. That got hit down the line. There's no foul territory, so he had to like basically decide, like, do I let this ball drop? Do I catch it and risk the run scoring? Like that. That was my thing. Is like there's no foul ground down the left field line. And he got a couple of those balls that it was just hard to judge the stands, how much was left. So again, he got thrown into the fire and got some difficult plays, and I think it'll get better. But he's not here to play defense. He's here to hit right-handed pitching, which he's very good at, and you have seen so far. And hopefully for the Astros and for their fans, he will be good at it this weekend in the Bronx, where they will face 2 right-handed pitchers to start the series. Then Max Fried goes on Sunday. So maybe we see Jesús Sanchez's first day off on Sunday against Max Fried. But who knows if he's forcing his way into the lineup? Maybe Joe will find a way to get him in there. We will be back to talk about the end of that series on Sunday, recap how it went. But until then, you can follow Josh on X at JRedDubDeuce. You can follow Tyler at Tyler C. Stafford. You can follow me at Chandler_Rome. As always, please rate and review us on Apple. Please, you can rate on Spotify, leave some comments on the Spotify episodes. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get notified every time we post a new video, every time we go live. Please like the videos. That helps us a lot as well. Hopefully everyone stays safe in the Bronx this weekend, both on the Yankees and the Astros, because like I said, the way the Yankees are playing, their fans may end up turning on them before they turn on the Astros. But critical 3 games in the Bronx this weekend as the Mariners welcome the Rays into T-Mobile Park. You're at the point now where you're looking at schedules and you're looking at who's got the easier series this weekend. I think the Astros certainly do not have an easy series in the Bronx, but they are playing a struggling team. The Mariners are at home, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But 1.5 game lead with 47 left to go. We'll be on Crush City territory. We'll be here to take you home for the final 47 games. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back soon.
Bye.
See ya.